Hi, this is Stan Bush.
Hi, this is Stephanie Calvert.
This is John Payne.
This is Jack Hughes.
Hi, I'm Carrie Stevens.
Hey everybody, this is Prescott Niles.
Hello, I'm Kofi Baker.
And you're listening to Play That Rock and Roll.
Well, hello, classic rock fans. Welcome back to Play That Rock and Roll. Today, we are joined by my Dylan Through the Decades podcast co-host, Chris Beretta. Chris, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
And today, we are talking about Bob Dylan music videos, which is, I think, a under-discussed Bob topic, which, was something I think was, not right, because in our series, we talked about a couple of these videos, and some of them were real hidden gems. So today we're taking a deeper dive at the stuff he did in the MTV era, in recent years, pre-MTV. There's some famous works, and there's also some not-so-famous works. But I think this is also an opportunity for us to say that this will probably be our last Dylan-related project, at least for a while, because we are going to be moving on to the next part of our songwriter series, and that is going to focus on the one and only Warren Zevon. How excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm pumped. Underrated, to say the least. Not as well known as you should be. So,
absolutely not as well known as Dylan, but would you say that his creative heights approached at least Dylan's creative heights?
Absolutely. And I think he's a singer-songwriter. I think that a lot of people in the music industry are very well versed in Zevon, but that he's just not as well appreciated by the general populace as a Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I'm remembering correctly, there was an interview with Bob in which he name-checked Zevon as one of his favorite songwriters.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I think
he a good place to pick up.
Was Desperados in the Eaves, I think he says is one of the greatest songs of all time, something to that effect. So, should be fun.
Absolutely. So, with that is coming the first part, January 2023. And while we're at it, I can also announce that we are planning on attending Rockin' Pod in Nashville in March 2023. More information coming on that later, but if anyone watching out there has been to Rockin' Pod before, hopefully you'll come this year and you can come see our booth and say hello. So with that, I am going to move over to my dumb parameters for what constitutes a music video for this list. And I more took the approach of what doesn't count for the sake of this list? I narrowed it down to 25 videos, and the first thing I eliminated from the list were any live performances. So anything at the Newport festivals, anything from TV shows, anything from the Rolling Thunder tour, any live performances of Bob and the band, that's out. There's just too much of that for us to cover. And I also eliminated any music videos that are just performance clips. So videos that weren't recorded live but are presented as strictly a video of Bob and the band playing. So music videos like When the Night Comes Crawling from the Sky, videos like that where it's just the band playing the song and there's nothing else to talk about, I cut those out. But I will follow up on that in just a second. And then the other thing I eliminated from the list was any music videos that are made up of strictly archival footage, compilations of old clips, videos that are strictly that. Now, I made some exceptions to these exclusions. If it's archival footage mixed with new footage, fine. Likewise, if it's a performance clip mixed with really anything that implies any sort of a story or narrative, also okay. So there are some videos in this list that are largely performance clips, but they have something, some tiny factor that makes it maybe just a little bit more than that. All of this to say, you will probably not like how I put this pool of songs together. And if you are really upset about how I curated these songs, tell you what, you can send me an email at idon'tgiveashit@thisisjustforfun.net. So, but in all honesty, if you have some thoughts on Bob's music videos of your own, please post them in the comments below. Tell them how my rankings are wrong, and we'll have some fun there. So with that, hope you enjoy this, and let's get started. And how we're going to do this is Chris is going to tell us his pick, and then I will say my pick, and we'll format the discussion largely around my list. But hopefully when we get to a song that we ranked really differently, you will point out that, if I ranked a song low that you had high, make sure you mention that so we can argue.
You're wrong.
Right. Yes. Yes, correct me when I've made a mistake here. So, all right, let's get started. Here's one of the most fun parts of the show, the bottom of the barrel. What is your worst, number 25, least favorite Bob Dylan music video?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, okay. Keep notes here. Unbelievable. That is from 1990's Under a Red Sky. And we will be talking about that shortly. My number 25 is probably my favorite song on this list, but my number 25 is Joker Man. Joker Man is off of this album from 1983. If I can describe the video very briefly, it is mostly made up of pictures or briefly animated images of artwork intercut with the lyrics of the song overlaid on those pictures, intercut with a few shots of Bob, mouthing along to the chorus with his eyes closed and a black background. He looks absolutely miserable, and when he does open his eyes, he is squinting and grimacing at the camera, and I just don't understand, if they were going to make a video like that and also put the light of the camera so close to his face that he couldn't even open his eyes, why wouldn't they just have him wear these sunglasses from the album cover?
It reminded me of a PBS documentary where he's showing pictures of Byzantine art, the works of William Blake, Hieronymus Bosch, and then for me, I love it. He's talking about the Joker Man, basically. Well, I think he's supposed to be the Antichrist. I think that the Joker Man, the conceptually, is supposed to be sort of the Antichrist. Ronald Reagan. So for me, it was a great music video.
There is a good moment in the video
going like this. Ronald Reagan. I don't know where that's from, but what is that?
But what happens in the video is that there's sort of an animated clip of the Joker from the Batman comics, and then it transitions into Reagan, which is a positive spot. So yes, I do like that bit, but I just couldn't get over what a low effort and badly executed concept it was. There were a few nice little moments, but it was barely over a clip show, and you could tell this is one of those early videos where the artist had to be argued into doing it at all.
Even the text that they put over it, which was the lyrics, but over these scenes they were showing, reminded me of the really old PBS videos that they would show late at night when we were kids. The stuff from that time period, the early '80s. There was almost I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was fun for me. It's a historical artifact more than.
Oh, okay. A historical artifact that features many historical artifacts, and by that I mean Bob.
Right.
All right, what was your number 24?
Sweetheart Like You.
Sweetheart Like, oh, okay. I had that a little higher up. My number 24 is one that a whole bunch of people at home probably don't even want listed on this, but it is. Hearts of Fire by Fiona Flanagan from the Hearts of Fire soundtrack. So I included this in the list at all because it's footage from the Hearts of Fire movie in which Bob is a co-star. There are clips from the movie that feature Bob, including his roundhouse punch, which is hilarious. But at the end of the day, this is a really low-effort, cheap clip show from just the movie, and then there's a few shots of, not unlike Bob and Joker Man, Fiona singing the chorus to the song with a dull gray background, and they're sort of cut together. Super low effort. These type of music videos are a dime a dozen in the 80s, in the MTV era, especially with soundtrack songs. Concept-wise, it's the same thing as Joker Man, and I didn't like the Joker Man video.
Any opportunity that we have to talk about Bob, I'm going to find some way to work Hearts of Fire into the conversation. That's one of my favorite bad movies ever.
I think we love that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Number 23.
Emotionally Yours.
My number 23 is When the Deal Goes Down. This is a more recent video of Bob's. I ranked it very low because it is one of several videos that doesn't feature Bob at all. It features Scarlett Johansson, which is nice, but it's a very confusing and I felt kind of pointless video. It's filmed in a way to make it look like old home movies with sort of a, old-timey filter over it, and just kind of random shots of Scarlett doing this and that. And I guess it's a nice watch, but at the end of it, I just thought, what is the point of this? What are they trying to do here? And I think this is just one of those moments where Bob had no interest in being in the video, and the studio had to come up with something.
And didn't match the song really at all either. We're
Right.
very close. You'll see in our rankings of When the Deal Goes Down. It's not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Number 22.
USA for Africa.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you have it a lot higher just from the nostalgia value, but
So
this
is another one that a whole bunch of people are going to be pissed about that are even on the list. But
it could have been 20. It could have been 25 for me, but I ranked it higher because it's fun to see Springsteen highly poked out of his mind, just screaming into. I don't know what's going on with Springsteen at the time, but man, he's intense. Damn it.
Yeah. Needless to say, I have that much higher than you because I have a much higher tolerance of 80s cheese than you.
There's two that I know are going to be a lot higher for you than me.
Yeah. Yep. All right. My number 22 is one you said already. Unbelievable. And the obvious byline here is unbelievable is unbelievably bad.
I mean, I was going to...
Yeah. Here's my problem with the video. Bob is in it, right? He does not star in the video. He's got a supporting role in his own video, but that's, that happens sometimes. He's like a chauffeur, but the video primarily focuses on just two young, good-looking people, one of whom is played by Molly Ringwald. It's like a, short-lived romance story. It's boring as all get out. My main problem with it is that the video looks like shit. It's got a really cheap, chintzy production. There's a lot of bad camera work. And it has a feel of... I don't know how to put this except it looks like early 90s country music videos. Not Garth Brooks videos, but the C-list country acts from the Garth Brooks era. There's an aesthetic there that looks very cheap and very dated in a really bad way.
There's even livestock in it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a pig
There you go.
that he's chauffeuring. And also, I will say this, and this is a little bit... I watched it a second time after I put it as low as I did, just to see if it deserved that, because it almost parodies itself. It's such a terrible video. But did you notice he's chauffeuring the pig right before Molly Ringwald, presumably, And then the stuff that she stole from the protagonist of the video is in the limousine after Molly Ringwald leaves. Dylan is often accused of like low-key misogyny.
Okay.
Is Molly Ringwald the pig? Like, I'm just
Ooh.
very confused by the whole what's happening in that music video, other than just early
There
90s.
could be some unflattering readings of that video with Bob's outlook
There could be, is my point, yeah. And if that is the case, by the way, for shame, because Molly Ringwald is a fucking national treasure, all right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 21.
All right, so I have When the Deal Goes Down.
Oh, okay. When the Deal Goes Down, which we had just talked about, so that's 21. So, again, neither one of us are really big on. Okay, my number 21 is from kind of the same era. This is Dreamin' of You. Dreamin' of You is similar to When the Deal Goes Down in the sense that Bob does not appear in the video. Instead, a different celebrity, although much less good looking, Harry Dean Stanton, in the lead role. And he plays basically like an old school Dylan fan, an obsessive Dylan fan, a guy who's traveling across the country by himself, going to all of Dylan's shows, collecting, weird Dylan bootlegs, listening on headphones late at night, and not really interacting with people. It's sort of a very sad look at a super fan, and I couldn't quite tell if this video was like a salute or acknowledgement to like the, rather significant fan base of Bob's that does this kind of thing, or if it's an outright shot at them.
It's interesting. This is one where we're differing by a margin of.
Okay. So you have this higher up.
Yeah, this and Jokerman both are like about 10 spots higher, like almost to the, I think, number. I appreciate the production value. I appreciate the way it kind of synced up with the feel of the song. Like I felt like it made sense as a music video. It made a lot of sense. And Harry Dean Stanton as an actor he's a fantastic actor. For me, everything worked. Like it worked.
Do you think I'm onto something here with it either is taking a shot at his old school fans or it's complimenting them? Where do you fall on that one? Or am I reading this totally wrong?
I think it's possible both. I think Dylan is insightful enough. I mean, just what we know. I mean, we're always in, projecting and always making assumptions whenever you're talking about the guy, because he is relatively reclusive in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I think it could be both. I think that probably Dylan sees his obsessives as being somewhat misguided. I don't necessarily. I think he probably takes it in a way that's flattering, but also foundationally, I think he sees himself as a singer-songwriter. And just as that, a Gordon Lightfoot, a Jimmy Buffett, and so when he sees the obsessives, it's probably this sort of like, hey man, I appreciate it, but I'm not it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the perception of himself that his obsessive fans have of himself.
Yeah. And it can't be all bad if your stand-in for that fan base is Harry Dean Stanton, who is awesome.
Yeah.
When making this ranking, I broke this list down into 4 categories: elite tier, good, meh, and suck. And in my opinion, these last 5 we just talked about fall in the last category. But that's the last of the videos that I would say I dislike. Now we're moving on to a category that I'm meh on. Is this sort of similar for you, or did you draw the line a few spaces up or back?
I think I had a more positive opinion of a lot of the videos than you did in general. So for me, it was the bottom 4.
Okay.
I put them into a category I refer to as TV dinner.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we'll get to the other categories as we go. Excellent. TV dinner. Perfect. All right. Number 20. What do you have for number 20?
I have Cross the Green Mountain, which was a hard one for me. So here's the thing. It's not a bad video. by any sense. It fits the song, obviously, because he wrote it for a Civil War. It makes sense. It just looks too much like every other sort of soundtrack music video from that time period. And the Dylan in it, he's riding a horse, and now he's getting his taken. And it's just, as a music video, it's very I was torn with this one because it's not a bad music video. It's productionally very, very well made, and it looks good, and the song's good. It just it's worse than the sum of its parts.
Okay. All right. I follow. All right. And I'm going to remind you, hold off until I get to that one.
Your takes are good.
Let's
get them in
It's just
order.
I'm used in our relationship with each other. I'm used to just talking through you and over you. So I'm sorry.
I am used to that too.
I'll behave. I'll behave.
Very good. All right. My 20 is Not Dark Yet. This is largely a performance clip that it cuts back between black and white footage and color. And the only thing that sort of makes it even eligible for this list, given my parameters, is that it's intercut with some shots of a small town, just some stock footage. I would say that there's some nice effects with the lighting of the video. And, you know, it's shot competently, I guess, as Bob and the Band plays, but ultimately it's just a performance clip. And as far as a music video medium, that doesn't do a whole lot for me, especially if the performance is very low-key.
I think we're on the exact same page. We just shifted by like 4 spaces. So for me, I said exactly, almost verbatim, I said it's moody but boring.
Oh, okay.
You said like the good tone and everything. It's moody, but it's boring. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, hey, we're on the same page. That's always good. All right, what's your number 19?
My number 19, Hearts of Fire.
Ah, there we go.
Good to hear that Hearts of Fire is made the top 20. That's impressive. All right, my number 19, and I think we're going to have some disagreement here. My 19 is Political World from 89's Oh Mercy. This was directed by John Mellencamp. Like Not Dark Yet, it's largely a performance clip, but it's intercut with shots of the audience that seem to be made up of various world political leaders. So it's kind of like he's singing a political song to the people he's singing about. End of the day, it just doesn't move me very much. Doesn't move the needle.
What's amazing to me is that all the ones that I rank a lot lower than you, or rather higher than you, our differences are by exactly 10.
Oh.
You have Jokerman at 15, right? Or I have Jokerman at 15. Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
And the Political World I have at 9. It's interesting that we're exactly 10 spaces off from one another for 3 of them.
Okay, that's very funny, yeah.
So what is it about Political World you just don't like? What is it about the...
Well, I'm not in the dislike column anymore. I'm in the meh column. Yeah, and it's not I'm not big on performance clip music videos if the band is kind of low energy. If you're somebody like Springsteen, who's all over the place, yeah, I can absolutely watch that. But if you're a more low-key, this is almost kind of a lounge vibe. Yeah, I like watching the band play, but am I going to watch this again? No, probably not. It's just, it's not grabbing me in the same way that some of these other videos do. What do you like about this?
Because there's some subtext with the audience, which is just it's stand-ins for political figures. I think throughout there's little things if you watch it, like there's like like a guy, it looks like he's from like the British regime passing like a note to somebody who's from like, I don't know, like one of the Emirates or something.
Okay.
Who, like takes it, looks at it, and like makes this like face, and like there's all these really little moments that like Mellencamp put in there. They're like, it's fun, and it works with I think it works with the song really well. Not overtly literal, because you can get too into the, you can make a video that's just too on the nose, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's there. It worked well, I think, with the song.
Okay. Yeah, no, I dig that. All right. Number 18. This is one you've mentioned already. Emotionally Yours. Emotionally Yours. So I'm basically on a pseudo performance clip string here. This is kind of where they rank. Again, it's shot in black and white. The only thing that makes it a little bit more than a performance clip is that it's intercut with flashbacks to an old relationship. I would say the only two positives for this video for me is, one, at the end you get a cameo from Mike Campbell from the Heartbreakers. It's cool to see him in the video. And my favorite part of the video is near the opening, where it's a close-up on Bob's face, and you get a nice clear shot of that earring he liked to wear in those years.
And that's what puts it above Political World, the earring. All right, what do you got for number 17?
Wilbury Twist.
Yeah. Okay, 17. Oh, shit. What did you have for 18?
Not dark yet.
Oh, okay.
I already talked about that a little bit. I just said moody but boring.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So 17 for you is Wilbury Twist. My number 17 is Sweetheart Like You. Sweetheart Like You is an early music video of Bob's. In fact, I think chronologically it's like his second, so this is one of his first appearances on MTV. Again, it's mostly a performance clip, but what makes it just a little bit more than that, at least for me, is that the band is playing for an audience of one. An older woman with a broom who's implied to either be maybe the owner of the venue or just a cleaning lady. And there's some long shots of Bob's face, which I have to say is sort of odd for him. But again, he's looking at this woman. It gives it just a little bit of a narrative. It seems that he is singing directly to her. And there's a nice moment right at the end where the band fades to black, but the video holds on her for just a moment. As the song ends, she goes back to sweeping. So there's just a little bit of a story there. But at the end of the day, this is still very much a meh video for me. What's your number 16?
I think we're going to disagree on this one. Tight Connection to My Heart.
Ooh,
I feel like that's like in your number 5. Like that's your number like 3 or 4. That's real high up.
That's my number 1.
Oh,
No, I'm
is
kidding.
it? Good Lord. No.
Well, hold on. We're going to talk about one you just mentioned. My number 16 is Wilbury Twist. Again, another performance clip, but this one with a bunch of celebrity cameos. John Candy, Woody Harrelson, Whoopi Goldberg, Eric Idle, Cheech Marin. Fucking Milli and Vanilli are in this.
And they're doing as much singing in this music video as they did throughout their career.
Yeah.
Sing.
Yeah, that's what makes this video a little surreal. There's sort of a novelty factor to that, just because of, I think, their presence here. Because I honestly wonder, like, how did that connection come about? I mean, like, I know, John Candy, Woody Harrelson, Whoopi Goldberg, Eric Idle, like, those people are probably friends with the guys in the Wilburys. Where's the Milli Vanilli connection? Or were they just, like, trying to get someone who was current on the pop charts? Do you think it was sort of a desperate attempt to, like, get a young artist to hang out with them?
It's not a good song, really. It's one of the weaker. I can't believe it's a single. It's one of the weaker Wilbury songs too. I don't know.
Well, that second album just isn't very good. We talked about that in our Dylan in the '90s pod. It was just sort of it's the sophomore slump. I would say these videos of where it's the band playing and there's just a bunch of like celebrity cameos for no reason. Like, that's another one of those music videos that has been done before and in better ways. So if you like the concept but think this one is weak, I would point you to either Ghostbusters or Goonies Are Good Enough for a more fun celebrity cameo fest. 15. What do you got for number 15?
This is where I put Joker Man.
Okay. All right.
I'm curious to see if we have some disagreement on here. Number 15 is maybe one of the more interesting videos on the whole list, but one that ultimately didn't move the needle for me too much when I thought about it. The 2013 Like a Rolling Stone interactive video. Now, this one is just sort of kind of hard to set up because you can't even see it on YouTube. YouTube isn't built for this sort of thing. What it is an interactive video that you have to go to Bob Dylan's website to see. And basically, it's like 10 different channels that you can switch to, where the video for that channel is something off of cable TV, but the people on screen are mouthing the words to Like a Rolling Stone. But it's, presented as totally straight. So if you're on the Home Shopping Network, the woman presenting, the crap that they're selling is mouthing the words to Like a Rolling Stone. Or you can switch over to whatever channel has Marc Maron's TV show, and you can see Marc Maron mouthing the words to Like a Rolling Stone. You can switch over to Wheel of Fortune and watch Drew Carey mouth the words to Like a Rolling Stone. This is a huge concept video, and I think when they came up with it, they probably thought that this was going to be like a game changer. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of rewatch value. Like, I clicked around and I was enjoying it. I did find it fun, but I have no desire to go back and watch it. And maybe there's a couple in there that I could watch that channel all the way through. I could absolutely not do that for all of the channels. I don't think most people could. So it's sort of one of those rare moments of, Bob and his team trying a big concept, but ultimately kind of getting a middling result. And also, it's funny to me is I bet they had to go through all this work to do something creative because, again, Bob wouldn't do the video himself because he's not in it at all.
No, he is.
Is he? Oh, is there archival footage?
They have the original archival footage of him performing Like a Rolling Stone as one of the
Okay.
channels. You can
Okay.
watch, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to your point, I mean, it's not new footage, but yeah, it's. Yeah. So I score much higher, but here's the
Okay.
thing.
All right. Tell me what you like about it.
Well, and that's the thing. I had this scored. I almost left it off the list completely and just said, like, screw you, Joe. I'm doing 24, and Like Rolling Stone, is like its own thing because
NA. Yeah.
it's done like 40 years after. Like, no, 50 years, I think, after the original, right? Close to it.
45.
Close to it, 45.
Yeah.
It lacks that kind of authenticity of like the more in real time music video. It's gimmicky and some like that's the bad stuff, right? It's gimmicky a little bit. At the same time, it's cool. They didn't just get celebrities like in the last video in Wilbury Twist.
Oh, right.
They got celebrities, but they're reality TV stars. They got like the Property Brothers are in it. Marc Maron's. It's random here and there. It makes sense. Like the channels make sense.
Yeah,
it's
cable
not
TV
people
celebrities.
playing roles. It's people playing themselves.
Yeah.
And they're mouthing it. Couple of things. I think it's the wrong song. We discussed this. It should be TV Talking Song. It's a Dark Horse song. Not many people like it. I love it. But I ended up defaulting and putting it a lot higher than you did. It's a lot higher, actually. Just because I thought it was fun. But I could have put it, like I said, off the list entirely. Where I ended up putting it, which is in my top 5, honestly. Right in the middle, which is where I was thinking about putting it, but I thought that was kind of unfair to some extent. Or I was going to put it like really low, like much lower than you put it, just because of the gimmicky, sort of inauthentic feel that it has. I gave Dylan some grace. I said, you know what? It's a cool video. I like it. I like the song. Why not?
I'm going to quote the Rolling Stones here. You're not the only one with mixed emotions, Yeah. Yeah. Sort of a difficult video to suss out because it is unique from everything else we're talking about here because it is beyond just a music video. There's a little more to the story. What do you have at number 14?
Blood in My Eyes.
Ooh, okay. Blood in My Eyes. Oh, hello. Guess what I got at 14? Blood in My Eyes. All right. Look at us. Simpatico. This is the last video in the meh column for me. From here on out, I would rank, good or better. This is the last one that I'm kind of lukewarm on. Again, this is another black and white video, but this time it's shots of Bob either singing or just sort of walking around the streets of London, signing autographs, being weirdly, social and meeting people, which is a little uncommon. This is a very low-key video. It's competently shot, but for me, ultimately, I find it still a little dull. But I also noted that of all the videos we're talking about today, it would not surprise me if this was the one that he enjoyed making the most, or the only one on this list he did not actively hate making.
I think we're on the same page across the board. I think it's clear, it's simple, it's straightforward. It's just got a nice. It matches the song. It has a nice feel to it. I will say you mentioned your various
categories,
your tiers, right?
Yeah, my tiers.
So we after Tight Connection to My Heart, we moved out of what I call fast food.
Oh,
and so with Joker Man and now Blood in My Eyes, we've moved into Diner.
Diner. Okay, so TV dinner, fast food, diner, and you're gonna reveal the top.
I'll just tell you right now, Supper Club.
Supper Club.
That to me is the finest dining experience. Is the Supper Club. That's my top tier.
Excellent. So we are now moving on to the good videos, and for you, we are in the diner music videos. For those keeping track at home, adjust your notes accordingly. All right, number 14, that was Blood in My Eyes. What is your number 13?
Handle with Care.
Oh, okay. Handle with Care from the Traveling Wilburys. It will not surprise you at all. I have that one ranked quite a bit higher than you, and we'll get to that shortly. Oh, my number 13 is a recent video of Bob's. In fact, I believe it was the last one he did. The Night We Called It a Day. So this is a music video that is shot in black and white. It is a narrative. It's filmed like an old 50s style noir film. Stars Bob alongside actor Robert Davi. Basically, Bob are in love with the same woman. And, she's trying to get away from Robert Davi. So Bob helps her kill him. And then as they are both escaping in the elevator together, Bob and the woman pull guns on each other. And the elevator door opens and reveals that the woman has been shot and is dying. And Bob runs out into the alley and escapes the police in a car, which is a bizarrely fun little video right at the end of his music video run. I didn't expect this kind of the video when I first heard the album, but given that comes from his Sinatra tribute album, it actually makes a lot of sense, because I haven't seen a lot of Sinatra movies, but I could totally see Sinatra in a movie just like this. So this was some fun for me.
It's unclear why she wants to kill both of them.
Well, they're both 40
women.
years older than her. How about that?
Well, there is that. Yeah, it's part of, I think it's the weakest of what I'll call Dylan's newfound violent turn in his music videos for the last 10 years. He's been making progressively more and more just violent film or music videos.
That is a theme that we absolutely need to explore before we're done here today, because the violence in Bob's later music videos is something that I don't know if a lot of people have picked up on, and that's something we picked up on just by watching these in the order that he made them. So let's talk about that a little bit more on a different video. All right, that was number 13. Let's go to number 12. What do you have for number 12?
The Wyclef Jean and Cannabis.
Oh, okay.
Gone
Till November.
So, as we reach the halfway point of our list, this is another video that is not a Bob production, where Bob is the featured artist. This is a Wyclef Jean song called Gone Till November. I included it on the list because it features a cameo from Bob. In fact, I think the only music video cameo that Bob ever did. Basically, it's a music video in which Wyclef Jean is, singing his song, and he's at an airport. It's filmed largely at an airport. And there's a moment in the lyrics where he quotes Knocking on Heaven's Door, and he references Bob Dylan, and as he sings that part of the song, the camera zooms out, and Bob is sitting right next to him in the airport, looking at him lovingly. And then, the camera angle changes, and it cuts back to the same angle, and then Bob's gone, so it's sort of implied like he's like either an imaginary figure or a dream or something like that. Talking about it just as a music video, I think it's a fairly well shot, well put together late 90s era video. Not much to discuss outside of the little Bob cameo, so again, I'm kind of ranking it this high because the rest of the video around him is still pretty good, and that's a compliment to Wyclef's team.
We have the same rank because you've chastised me for talking about my videos at the rank that my.
Oh shit!
It's okay. I'll talk about my
wait.
video at number 12. I'm happy to.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's my number 12. It was my number 11.
All right.
We're making this up on the fly. We're changing shit up because you know what? My number 11.
Are you editing this out? Because my question is then, what is your number 11?
Cross the Green Mountain.
Oh, okay. I was hoping we'd just be able to.
No.
Okay.
All right. Holy shit. Yeah, this is amateur hour today, man.
No,
but you know what? I'm sticking with it. I like when we're on the same page. You and me got the same number 12. Gone Till November. So I said why I like it. Why do you like it?
I like it because you said there's not a ton more to say about it, but what I would say is it's what's cool is when you watch it, and I watched it twice, you start to realize like Wyclef Jean is seeing what he's doing is he's seeing himself from different portions of his life. He's seeing himself as like a child. He's seeing himself as an adult. He's talking about all the things that he's missing out on as a performer because he can't work a 9 to 5. So he's seeing this old couple who's being like taxied, and he's looking, and they're singing the guy in the relationship is singing the same song. He's singing the Gone Till November. He sees a baby who's singing it, and you realize this is him looking at his life and realizing all the relationships that he's put in jeopardy or has. I think it's a pretty cool music video. Dylan is basically, he says Bob Dylan in quotes, so that's why he's in there. Although I think it's cool because I love Wyclef Jean. So for me, Dylan giving sort of the passing of the torch to another great singer-songwriter in Wyclef Jean is cool for me.
Yeah, and frankly, I think Bob would be attracted to a song like this because he's a perennial road warrior, and he, I think, has embodied that never-ending tour lifestyle. So I think the lyrics of the song probably appealed to him just as much as maybe his friendship with Wyclef. That's just my guess. So that was both of our number 12s. We're doing this totally on the fly here. And my switch up, my number 11, well, I'm screwing it up again already. What is your number 11?
My number 11, Joe, is Dreaming of You.
Dreaming of You, which I had ranked much lower. I had Dreaming of You down at 21. Look at that, another 10-point difference. So here we are, once again, that 10-point margin. Either we're simpatico or off by 10 points. All right. My number 11 is 9 points off of what you had ranked it. My number 11 is Cross the Green Mountain. Which you had at number 20. That's the one you talked about a little bit already. Again, it's a sort of a period piece because it was a tie-in for a film that Dylan was on the soundtrack for. It's basically Bob, in a Civil War scene. He is wearing a hilarious top hat and wig in the video, looking somehow even older than he was. but I'm sure he agreed to do the video because, you know, it's a Civil War video, and that probably brought him right back to his childhood. And it's just, you know, a good time. Some other famous actors in it. But like you were saying, at the end of the day, not a lot happens. There's a shot of him on the horse. It's okay.
The top hat with the wig, he's doing Wilbury's era Petty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Petty, like in all the Wilbury's videos, Petty has the long hair with the top hat on.
Yep.
It's virtually identical. It's bizarre.
Yes.
I bet there's all kinds of stuff in music videos that artists do just to kind of poke fun at each other. But yeah, you're right. In all the Wilbury videos, Petty's got that fucking top hat on. And that's not the only time Bob would wear that wig and top hat combo, but we'll get to that shortly. All right. So, I believe this video is going overtime. So what I'm going to do here is this is where we're going to take our first break. We've gone through numbers 25 through 11, so we're going to call it here. And our next video is going to be the top 10 Bob Dylan music videos, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining us here. Make sure you find us on social media, Facebook, and while we still have it, Twitter. Otherwise, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Links for everything in the below. Thanks for watching, and again, stay tuned for our top 10 music video coming next.
You're not paying the $8?
I can't afford that. What are you talking about?